I just want
We'll
to.
pick it up next
It's
week.
all right, no problem.
So sweet.
Okay, so the first verse was talking about the glory of Bhagavad Gita, right? Just to recap. And the second verse was glory of Vyasji.
Sachi.
Third one was glory of Krishna Bhagwan, right?
Yes. Yes.
And now we are going further of what Krishna Bhagwan has done for the
Oh,
universe.
beautiful.
Yes. I can see Meenaji getting all excited. I got
I know,
excited.
I read it, I said, wow.
Yes. Okay, so let's chant. Sarvopanishado gavo, Sarvopanishado gavo, Dogda Gopalanandanaha,
Dogda Gopalanandanaha,
Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta,
Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta,
Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahad.
Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahad.
So Sarva Upanishadaha is all the Upanishads. Gavaha, the cows, Dogda, the milkman, Gopalanandanaha, the cowherd's son. That is Krishna Bhagwan. Partha is, we know it's Arjun. Vatsa is the calf. Sudhihi, men of qualified, purified intellect. Bhokta, the enjoyers. Dugdam, the milk. Gita is Bhagavad Gita. Amritam, nectar. Mahat, the supreme. Okay, Meenaji, you want to read since you're so excited about it?
Oh, no, that doesn't mean I have to read.
Why not?
Okay. All the Upanishads are the cows. The son of the cowherd, Krishna, is the milkman. Partha is the calf. Men of purified intellect are the enjoyers. And the supreme nectar of Gita is the milk. You can explain. This is so
But read it. Yeah.
In the last stanza, it was only mentioned that Krishna had milked out the nectar of Gita. The metaphor suggested in the previous verse is beautifully elaborated by the fewest strokes into a complete word picture here. Ordinarily, milking needs at least a cow, a calf, and a milkman. All the Upanishads are the cows. The breed of the cow, we know, determines the quality of the milk. In procuring the milk of Gita, it is indicated here, Vyasa has not milked his own creative intellect, but has gone to the very source of our scriptures of knowledge, the Upanishads.
So everybody understands here that it is the sar of the Upanishad. So whenever the saints and sages, they reveal mantras and all to us, it is not their words. It is coming through a higher source. So we have to just remember that. That's why they are called the seers, of the higher truth.
It is also interesting to note that the cow is that living organism through which the ordinary raw materials such as grass, water, and other fodder get miraculously assimilated and converted into milk. The raw material for the seers of the Upanishads was but the sapless and colorless experience of the ordinary everyday life, and yet they, in their amplified vision during moments for contemplation, could cook, assimilate, and secrete the wisdom sparks which represent the Upanishadic mantras. The philosophy underlying them is Vedanta, and to squeeze out of them a sure way of life for the ready nutrition of the man in the marketplace is the service done by the author of the Gita.
So there are so many interesting things he's talking about here that first of all I just remembered something about the cows, because usually people from outside India have this, why do you worship cow? We have heard this so many times. First of all, we don't worship cow. We respect and revere cow. That's number one. And then one of the reasons is it takes the least from this universe and gives the maximum. That's why it is so symbolic, because it takes only grass, and the milk has tremendous nutrition. That is probably there's enough whole food. That's our definition of whole food is milk, because if somebody drinks milk, they can survive, and babies and all that. So, and also another thing
That
about
is
cow.
why they call cow ma.
Right, exactly, because after mother's milk, it's cow's milk. It sustains us. But another thing to think about is that cow is the one that every part of the cow is useful. Even its refuse, its urine and its feces, everything. And and now they're doing so much research in the West also about it. Because before that was, I don't know why, but they know that it is very useful medicinal. And then also after the death of the cow, it's still useful. Because you take it's uski chamda leke, exactly. So that's what we have to remember, why we revere, because otherwise it's like we think it's some kind of just crazy stuff. People do know there's a reason behind it, so we need to know that. So that's one thing. And then here what he's talking about, he's comparing that, taking these ordinary grass and turning into something so amazing. And here the saints and sages, they took the ordinary experiences of people, but if we look at life, then we just look at it like, this problem, that problem. They actually bring out something higher from it. That's what he's talking about. He's taking the mundane stuff of everyday life, but these seers have a vision to bring out something higher and then give it to us back. That's the analogy over here.
And that's applied to us also, like if we consume least and give back to the society maximum, those people are always revered in the society.
Exactly. Yes, true, absolutely true. Yes.
Go on. There is a great significance underlying the very joy in the metaphor, apart from the fact that it is quite in keeping with the essential agrarian background of Indian culture. Milk is a food that is nutritive and healthy, not only to a newborn baby, but also to the wrestler, to the sick man, to the convalescent, to the aged, to the dying. No other food is so universal in its blessing. Generally, that which is healthy and appropriate to one type is not equally efficient to serve all others. In comparing the Gita with the milk, the verse is only declaring that the Gita is an universal textbook, healthy for all the various races and types of men in their variegated walks of life, each one striving to maintain a variety of standards of living.
This is such a beautiful analogy, right? that milk is not only for one type of person, for everybody. And I know in this country maybe they don't look at it that way, but in our culture they do. And I just last time when I went to India, there was somebody who was taking care of us one day, and he was a pehelwan. He was one of the kushti walas, right? Really buff guy, big, like उसको देख के लगता था किसी को पीटेगा तो गया हो तो. So we went to a restaurant to eat our lunch, and he said, "No, I'm on a special diet. I cannot eat this because I have to maintain my kushti thing. My guru tells me what to do." So I got curious. I said, "What do you have?" So he said, "Badam wala doodh." वो भी मतलब 1-2 kilo something like that. So that's what he ordered, for himself. Badam wala. So it's true. We might be having all these here in this country. They have contaminated the milk to that extent that now the doctor is saying don't drink milk, take soya milk. But there it's still that culture.
They used to give haldi wala milk after the child used to fall or was sick. They used to give milk, haldi. They used to put the turmeric and give milk.
But we can identify, since we are coming from that culture, that what it is, a mahatta of milk. Without milk, our Indian food, desserts and lassi and dahi
Abhishekam and all is also done by milk.
Because it's symbolic.
But now they say it's a cause of inflammation.
What? Milk?
No. That's the problem is that if first you contaminate the thing, nature has given you something fantastic, you ruin it, and then you say it's no good for you. Who's done it? We have done it.
So we
to
don't
ourselves.
get fresh milk. So milk is not bad.
Yeah, and then another thing is that grass-fed cow's milk is the best, and when you love the cow a lot, then the milk comes out correct. Here, if you abuse any animal, it's gonna be bad. So there's so many factors. We can do a whole class on the cow. And the other thing I found out that cow emits some kind of sattvic energy, and this was proven in the West. They did that there is some kind of energy that comes out where the cow क्या बोलते हैं उसको तबेला बोलते हैं ना जिसको. So if you are feeling very disturbed and all that, they say go sit near a cow. A cow is the most gentle animal. If you see among all the animals, it is very sweet and gentle, and you guys can Google and see. I was amazed that there is some kind of it emits this sattvic energy.
I was raised in a family where cow was kept in the same house where we live. Like it's a little separation, but buffaloes and other, they were put separate in a separate shed, but cow was kept there because my father used to revere cow, and he said no, cow will stay with us. So I think that was the reason.
Yes, they definitely had those reasons. So she is the proof that it actually happened. Coming from cities and all, we don't understand that, but if you ask small town people, they'll tell you. So moving ahead.
Of the innumerable names of Krishna, the term chosen here, the son of the cowherd, is quite appropriate inasmuch as a certain amount of efficiency and dexterity is necessary to milk out the entire contents of an udder. As a cowherd boy, he was from the birth onwards observing, practicing, and living the profession, and was by instinct best fitted to do this job.
So now you see how the analogy is going, that he took out all the milk, but he took the whole entire Upanishad and he took out the most important things and he gave it to us, because that's why Gita is considered a Shastra by itself also. It's called another Upanishad, it's called, Smriti, Shruti, everything it's been given the name.
According to the science of animal husbandry, though nowadays it is a fact very much ignored, the quality of the milk depends upon the emotional contents of the milch cow. To no thinking man can the modern theory, which suggests the substitution of some music in place of the calf, be quite satisfactory. According to the Hindu scientists, the milk of the cow can be fully nutritive only when the mother cow, overflowing with love for her own calf, pours out her milk. Thus, the calf is necessary to arouse the love of the mother cow. Then alone can the overflowing udder supply the best type of milk. In the metaphor, it is pointed out that Arjuna was the calf for the cow of the Upanishad to pour out its best milk, which was then collected by the divine prophet, the cowherd boy of Vrindavan.
How beautiful.
That's what I meant. It was every word.
I mean, every
so
analogy,
beautiful.
like so deep. It's
Yes.
like you feel so joyful when you read
Right.
this, right?
Yeah.
Like क्या सोचते थे वो लोग, मतलब कैसे उन्होंने ये metaphor, I mean, you get so excited
Right.
about it.
That's what
Yeah, that Arjun, and like I was just thinking that, I mean, Neeraj is in that profession, a professor. So it's like when you have a right student, you get so excited.
about it. Yes.
Then, the people who love to teach, वो wait करते कब उनको मिले कोई चेला. So yeah, Arjun,
The right one.
Right one, exactly. The one who's, you really want to pour out everything. And,
Yes.
so this is what has happened. Arjun is standing there and Krishna Bhagwan brings everything out. And then I think in this class we have discussed that after the Mahabharata, Arjun requested Krishna Bhagwan, can you tell me the Gita again? And he said, sorry, that was the time. Because at right time, he became totally one with Brahman, and he could pour it out. And then I'm told that he did say, but it's called Anu Gita, means small Gita. The entire Gita, he could never repeat it again because it is just one masterpiece comes out. And we know that even in our own life, I mean, you're doing the poetry. When it comes out, it just comes out. And sometimes if you suddenly think, I want to do the poetry, it won't.
Yeah.
The inspiration just comes, and it's coming from a higher source.
I get the itch, get up.
Yes. And it just flows.
Yeah.
It just flows out of you because it's coming from a higher source. So that's what has happened over here. Yeah.
where was I?
Though the cow.
Though the cow, due to its love for the calf, pours out her best, the milk so gathered is not generally meant for the calf. It is enjoyed by those who can afford it. Similarly, here the Upanishadic milk gathered and preserved in the Gita, though facilitated by Arjuna, is not meant for Arjuna alone, but as the stanza says, it is meant for the enjoyment of all men of pure intellect.
So here, see how it said pure intellect. That's the most important. Because if you
more
are...
important than the intellect is pure
intellect.
Yeah, because otherwise people will start finding faults and they don't get the import of it and all those things happen. So, and then later on, remember we had done those verses, since we are doing the entire Gita, it's going to come. What are the qualifications needed to study Gita? There are few things that are needed. So that's why he's saying that. So when it said who can afford it, it's not monetary afford, but purify your intellect, then you become the adhikari of getting this. So, and everybody could understand that even in that metaphor, जो दूध मिलता है वो हमेशा बहुत सारा होता है काव का, because she's pouring out and then बछड़े को पहले पिला देते हैं, मैंने सुना है. I don't know. You can.
That's how they did.
Yeah,
she's shaking her head.
बछड़े को थोड़ा पिला के फिर सबको बांट
देते हैं. Yeah, that's
फिर बांट देते हैं, बाद में फिर बछड़े को छोड़ देते
हैं. अच्छा, जो
बच जाए हम नहीं निकाल पाए वो तुम निकाल लो.
Very good, excellent.
Pure intellect इसीलिए भी बोला है ना कि because you know when the milk, if your vessel is not clean, फट जाता है.
Very good analogy.
That is why they say pure intellect. Same, they have done the comparison.
Yes. हमने बोला कि clean नहीं होएगा तो फिर
बढ़ जाएगा.
तो मतलब गलत meaning.
तो हमारा
निकालेंगे. That's what you said, and that's what it meant.
See how
if our intellect is not pure, so we take out wrong meanings of it.
Yeah, like somebody will say, oh, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagavan is saying, go fight the war. Or something like that.
Right.
Or, you have fight with the cousin, don't give up. That's not what he's talking about. Nothing to do with that. So,
and then he says, Atmanam kabhi marti hai na marti hai. So people go and do violence.
कुछ भी कर सकते हैं.
कुछ भी.
Pure intellect नहीं हो तो गलत. So,
pure intellect नहीं हो तो.
True. So true.
The universality of Gita is nowhere else so beautifully brought out and so openly declared as in this line. It is not said here that it is meant for the Brahmanas alone.
People.
Brahmanas alone. Nor does it make any concessional declaration such as that even the Shudras can read it. In fact, the Gita is not a textbook of the Hindus. It is a universal scripture, and all men who are sincere and intelligent enough to perceive their own imperfections and courageously come to make a demand for perfection in themselves are the fit students on whom the Gita pours out her best blessing.
Yeah, so then again that universality of the thing, because it's saying this stanza tells it, the only qualification is pure intellect. It's not telling jati, pati, anybody, nothing. And so we already know, we have discussed this in great detail, that it is a very universal. And now in India, a lot of management, companies are using it for the management. They give Gita seminars for how to manage. Okay. Yes. And sometime I'll send you the links and all that. And there was a TED talk also. This lady gave a 18-minute, very, very nice one. I was thinking about it. I'm going to send you guys. Okay. So because in Bhagavad Gita, it's not only talking about the adhyatma and how to get self-realized, but it's also talking about secular things.
Way of living.
Yeah, it's like how to get the best output.
Yes.
Because in the karma yoga thing, and that's why I did that last verse. Remember that where there's Arjun and when there is Arjun with a bow and arrow, and Krishna Bhagavan is there together, there's prosperity. Remember those four things I said? Victory, prosperity, and there were two others, firm policy and progress. Those four things happen. So in and out means within and without, both things it takes care of. Can you
repeat that?
Oh, the four things? So it is, let me go and sequence. There is victory, firm policy. I'm not going in sequence here. Firm policy, victory. What else did I say? You have that one. I want to, since she asked, I want to tell her the correct way.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, because there's the last verse. People who memorize their thing, for them it's really great. Expansion. Yatra Yogeshwara Tatra Partho Dhanudara Tatra Shri means prosperity. Did I say prosperity?
No.
Okay. So if you want to go and put numbers, prosperity is number 1. Victory is number 2. Bhuti is expansion, that's number 3. And expansion means happiness also.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can put /happiness because that's also very important. And Dhruva Niti is foreign policy. And it actually goes into sequence. That when you have prosperity, then you have victory, and then you have expansion, because victory means you get everything, and then foreign policy.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now I lost my chain of thought. Where were we? We finished this
No,
one.
we finished that. We're going to go to the shloka now.
So we'll go to, I'll put it here. We did first 2, right?
And we're going to number 3.
So just to remind everybody, we started with Dhritarashtra Uvach was only one verse that Dhritarashtra asked. He asked that what is happening with, remember he said, my people and them.
Yes.
And we discussed all that. And then Sanjay said that second one we did last time, having seen the army of Pandavas drawn up in battle of array, King Duryodhan, he acted like very arrogant, like a king. Yes. He approached his teacher and spoke these words. So just to repeat it again, that here a lot of psychology they use. So because Gita is very power packed, so a lot of saints and sages have drawn a lot of psychology out of it. And last time the psychology we saw that he didn't have like humility. That's why he's not really a Raja, right? Yeah, his father is a Raja. But he used the word because he was approaching, because when you approach a teacher, you are supposed to be humble, and he went with a big arrogance. And the other psychology is that he's telling the teacher, hey, come and see, as the teacher doesn't know. Teacher is there for the same purpose too, but the psychology is that when people get nervous because he had done so many bad things, you start babbling, talking too much. That's what's happening over here. So that's the psychology they're using.
Yes, you start giving long explanations.
Yes, useless one that doesn't mean anything. And there are going to be 9 verses, unfortunately. But each one has some reason that they have given it. So because it shows more and more psychology of, and then it also is like, sometimes this is what happens. Outwardly, we can be pretending to be something, but your motives can be bad from inside. And then sometimes you see people, or sometimes we might also do, we say something and we are taunting them. Sarcasm. There's a lot behind it, and we think that we are getting this satisfaction of taunting, and the other person may not know, but he knows. So that's what is going to happen. You will see how he's taunting now. So here is a verse. Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Dupataputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So Pashya is behold, Etam is this, Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu. Acharya, O teacher, Mahatim, great, Chamum, army.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Vyudham is arrayed, Dupat Putrena, by the son of Drupad, Tava Shishyena, by the disciple, Dhimata is wise. Meera, do you want to read?
Sure. 3. Behold, O teacher, this mighty this mighty army of the sons of Pandu, arrayed by the son of Drupad, thy wise disciple. It is indeed stupid of Duryodhan to point out to Drona the army formation of the Pandavas. Later on also, we shall find Duryodhana talking too much, and that is a perfect symptom indicating the inward fears of the great king over the final outcome of the unjust war. There is an instinctive sting in Duryodhana's words to his aged teacher, which the cruel tyrant could not keep away from. At moments of high tension, the individual's words give clear indications of his essential mental nature. He hints at the foolishness of his teacher, who has taught the science of war to the undeserving students like the son of Drupada, who is now standing ready to make use of his knowledge of war to fight against his own teacher.
So in this, even though it is it seems like a simple word, verse, but it has a lot masala behind it. First of all, everybody kind of knows the Mahabharata war, right?
Yeah.
That we discussed it, that even Krishna Bhagwan Sena was on the other side. They had, their proportion was 11-7.
Yes.
Right? And then that Akshohini, they call it. And because this class is like, you guys like to hear all these other stuff, let me tell you, it was so interesting that Akshohini, what is Akshohini? So is it described as battle formation consisting of 21,870 chariots. This is one Akshohini में क्या क्या होता है? 11 Akshohini थी ना उसकी और उसकी साथ तो एक Akshohini में just I thought it was interesting. 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants.